Oh, there she comes. Aiko from the Oti region. Amweni from the eastern region. Esiedua from the central region. Teya from the northern region. And finally, Honam from the Volta region. Your top 5, ladies and gentlemen, looking very beautiful. Welcome, ladies. Wow, what a journey it has been. But tonight, we draw the curtains on a beautiful one. It has been all throughout the past few weeks. I look at them and then I get a bit emotional. I'm so proud of you, ladies. But that ball in front of you, and so if we can have some calm here, you'll be picking your numbers, and according to that, we will be asking you questions. And so I'll be starting with Aiko. Pick your number. Let me have it. But before we get into Aiko's question, she has a message from her family. Take a look.
Hello, wonderful people of Ghana. I'm Na Lamle, Aiko's mom. Ghana's most beautiful has been a journey of wonderful times with Aiko. She's a good listener, she's a patient girl, and therefore she has listened to the judges.
Aiko is a highly ambitious Christian lady who works with so much energy and enthusiasm to deliver masterclass results.
I believe that tonight, you and I would rejoice with the glory of Oti and indeed the glory of Ghana to crown Aiko as Ghana's next most beautiful queen.
She is currently working to build a profession in veterinary medicine, and she believes that no human being must die of rabies.
She's not just projecting Oti region, but she's projecting the entire nation.
All right, and so, Aiko. Okay, Aiko picked number 1. Hey. And so, at this point, I will let the other ladies pick as well.
Exactly.
So we have your numbers. And so, Amweni, Esiedua, Teya, Honam. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let me proceed. Are you ready for your question? You're ready. But guess what? We have to take a look at your profile. So let's take a look at that as well. I'll get straight to your question. Listen attentively. And it says, there has been a big disappointment by many women groups and other individuals and organizations about the number of women appointed or elected to the various arms and sectors of government. Some have suggested that the way to resolve this is through affirmative action and giving of quota of women's representation. Do you agree or disagree with this suggestion?
Thank you very much, Anita, for the question. And thank you, honorable judges, for this opportunity. Now, I would like to start by saying that, yes, there has been a very big disappointment, especially with groups like Bantu International that have been fighting for affirmative action in Ghana for over 7 years. Now, what are we trying to do as a country? Our efforts need to be recognized. Currently, Ghana's status in affirmative action is not an encouraging one. According to our 2021 housing population census, we have a 50.7% female population, but unfortunately, we have a less than 5% representation in our local governance. Now, affirmative action is any action to encourage marginalized groups to thrive in an equitable society. In this case, we're referring to women. Now, I will give my story as an example. I will always thank my family, my dad and my mom, wherever you are sitting. Thank you so much. I grew up in a family of 4 brothers as the only girl, and encouraging me to take my place as a woman in society and never feel marginalized was an effort that they had to make. And now I enter male-dominated spaces like veterinary medicine, and I'm not concerned about my place as a woman because I know I have a lot to offer in society. Thank you. I know that I am very blessed. However, there are women in Ghana, women in the Oti region, that are still being forced into child marriages. There are women with no access to education. There are women without access to healthcare. And what are we doing as a people right here? We need to start from our roots. We need to educate our girls so that they grow up never ever feeling like they are not enough. However, as we are starting from the roots, we also need exemplary leadership from the top. I will encourage that the affirmative action bill be passed such that women have a quota of representation in our governance. I will use Rwanda as a case study. In 2003, Paul Kagame instituted a quota for women representation of 30% in concurrence with the 1995 UN Beijing quota benchmark for this purpose. Fast forward to 2008, women were a majority in the Rwandan parliament and they passed the No Plastic Bill. Now, this No Plastic Bill, thanks to good management and sustainable development, has been able to make Kigali, Rwanda's capital city, Africa's cleanest city. This tells us that affirmative action for women is not just to sustain a balance in our women's society, but also women have a quota to contribute to our national sustainable development. Currently, Rwanda is on track to achieving SDG 13, which is zero carbon emissions by 2050. We need to encourage our women. I would urge us all to allow women to take their rightful places as equals with men in society. We need a reform from the ground up, and we also need exemplary leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aiko. Thank you. And so, ladies, I think we can now open our cards so we find out who has number 2. Okay, Esiedua, you have number 2. Nice one. So let's take a look at a message from Esiedua's family.
Adafo Mwamu share mechia mo pa. Me din the prophetess Grace Owusu afeyin. Me ba ne Esedua aye nyinaye nim no. Ne no modern bo a sisi ano ye nyinaye ni da kwan se odi bibi ebekọ fie. Me ka Esedua ho asam kakra kyerɛw. Ne wo ye kwan ado ne yie. Esedua ya kola bi odo nyame osu bone.
Esedua is an intelligent person, hardworking, eloquent, and respectful.
Wabona modern ama ebedu pempenso me semu amoshe yen se mini se obi ade dobema yedi ayencho no abefie ewrade hyemo se mumfa kumapa na mumfa ntayechi yedi nkunimu awie medam ase.
Kindly vote for Esedua to the short code *713 *13#. Esedua has all it takes to win the crown today.
The message from Esiedua's family. Are you ready for your question? Okay. Can you please pass the microphone to Esiedua? Fantastic. Now here's your question. Please listen carefully. Now, some Ghanaians have argued strongly against the continuous existence of the institution of chieftaincy. They say it is an anachronistic and has no place in democratic nation like Ghana, and also one of the major causes of conflicts in many parts of the country. Esiedua, Do you agree or disagree with this argument of doing away with chieftaincy, and why?
Thank you very much for the question, and thank you all beautiful people for being here. Well, I would say I do not agree. I would start by saying this quote that Jesus Christ himself used. He said, "Give Caesar what is due Caesar." Prior to colonial rule, governance was rested on our traditional rulers. Section 49 of the Chieftaincy Act tells us that these chiefs have right in governance. If they are outmoded or if they are anachronistic, why then do we celebrate festivals? Because festivals are a way of life of a people, and chieftaincy is embedded in our culture. So why do we want to throw away our culture? Why do we want to throw away our tradition? These chiefs are custodians of our stools. These chiefs are custodians of our lands. These chiefs have our history embedded in them. That is why we have the National House of Chiefs, who make rules that govern a particular people. Now, let me take the conflict aspect. Of course, I wouldn't sit here and deny the fact that there are conflicts regarding our chieftaincy system. There are. But then one factor that I have noticed is the play of politics. Politics not just coming from government, people, but then the people that live in these societies where we have our chiefs. Person A wants person B to become king. So he forgets the fact that person C is the rightful owner to the throne. So we use our own ways because of selfish interests to get these people there. I will be angry if what is due me is given to Cookie. But then that is not the way we should go about it. We are human beings. We sit and talk. I most of the times like it when I go to my chief's palace and all I see is authority, because I see them as a sign of authority. That is why we can never take them out in our system of government. They have a role to play. They have a function to achieve. Our chiefs are for the people and of the people. I remember that these chiefs in colonial times or pre-colonial times were mediators for our colonial masters and their people. They used to take schnapps on our behalf. Who could have done it for us? We didn't have any government. We didn't have a president. But then they took it upon themselves to settle disputes. And so why would we then take them away? Why would we then single them out? I do not believe that they are outmoded. I believe that chieftaincy in this democracy will see us ahead. Thank you so much.
Esierua from the Central Region, receiving cheers from her own people who are represented here this evening. Well, Anita, we'll move on to the next contestant. I see Amweni opening up her sheet of paper. And what number do you have?
Number 3. Okay, number 3 it is. Let's take a look at a message from Amweni's family.
Hello, beautiful and wonderful people of Ghana. I am Belinda, Amweni's sister. As a family, we are so much grateful to the Almighty God for how far He has brought Amweni in this competition. And thank you to each and everyone who has been supporting Amweni in diverse ways. Watching Amweni as she grows into the beautiful and wonderful lady she has become. Amweni is humble, she is respectful, she's obedient, she's bold, she's eloquent. In fact, the girl is good. So I'm here today to call all Ghanaians and fans of Amoini to keep voting to support her to win the crown. It is my prayer that the good Lord who has started a good work in her will surely bring it to a successful end. Amoini's project is about the STEM agenda. I'm appealing to all Ghanaians to vote for her in order to win this competition so that it can benefit all Ghanaians. Thank you so much and God bless you all.
Amweni, your question is number 3. And this is a very sensitive one. And so listen attentively. The issue of sex and sexuality education is a touchy subject for many parents, and they are unable to discuss issues about sex with their children. At what age and how would you suggest that parents begin to talk about sex with their children?
Thank you very much for your question. Thank you very much, honorable judges. My understanding of sex education is the high quality teaching and learning about topics related to sex. I understand that the topic of sex is quite uncomfortable for most parents. But if parents are able to discuss the topic of sex with their children, it goes a long way to make later conversations with their children easy, because their children, number one, are able to understand that sex, sexuality, and bodies form a healthy part of their lives. When parents have open and honest conversations with their children about sex, it builds trust. It makes their children come back to them for reliable information because they know they can count on their parents to make certain life choices, including sex. The good part of sex education is that it is not a one-off conversation. It evolves as your child grows older. In my view, the best time to start the topic of sex with your child is when your child is in his or her formative years. That is from about age 3 to 8. Because it is in the formative years of a child that he's really able to quickly learn so many things. Research has actually proven that when a child is in his or her formative years, he's able to learn about 5 languages. So teaching your child about sex can go a long way to stay in his mind to make the right choices. When your child is about 2 to 3, they are curious about their bodies. And they realize that the bodies of boys are different from that of girls. So as a parent, what you can do is to use everyday moments. For example, when you are giving your child a bath, or when you are preparing your child for school, you tell your child, "Oh, mommy, this is your chest, but when you grow up, it will become like mommy's own. You're going to develop breasts. Kweku, when you grow up, you're going to have a broad chest like daddy." I remember some time back, my nephew brought homework from school, and the homework demanded that he describes his little body. He had to draw his body and label the parts. So dear parents, if this is uncomfortable for you to talk about, you can adopt the textbooks of your children. It has some of these drawings in there. You can label the parts for your children to see. The same age from 2 to 3, you can teach your children nicknames of private parts. Some of us call the vagina the vajayjay. Yes. Some call the penis the pee-pee. Yes, you can teach your children some nicknames of private parts. When children are from about 4 to 5, they are curious about where babies come from. Where do babies come from? Most children think that babies grow in the tummy of their mommy. But as a mother, you can sit your child down and tell your child, no, babies do not come from the tummy of mommy. They are formed in a special place in mommy's body known as the uterus or the womb. You are educating your child. When children are about 6 to 8, they are curious about how babies are made. Dear parents, this is the right time to initiate the conversation of sexual intercourse. Tell your child that sexual intercourse is when daddy puts his pee-pee into mommy's vajayjay and a baby is formed. This goes a long way to help your child to know that when something like that happens, a baby is formed. Parents, when you do this, you put something in your child's mind to let them know that sex is not for children. Let your children know that sex is for adults, it's for grown people only when they are ready. Sex is not for children. If you have dishonest conversations with your children, it is easy for them to report sexual assault and defilement cases to you, which will go a long way to reduce the crime rate in Ghana. In my best view, the formative years of a child, that is from about 3 to 8, are the best times to discuss the issue of sex with your children. Thank you.
Give it up for Amweni. Okay. Next person in line is Taya. Taya, tell me what number? Oh, 5. Okay. All right, so Taya picked question number 5, and it reads: some women groups have argued that jailing of rapists has not been a strong enough punitive measure in stopping others from committing. Oh, we should have listened to your family. So I'll just hold on. I'll hold on. Please, let's receive the message from Taya's family, and then I'll continue with your question.
Manama, Ntuzobehe Mjaya, Pasara Minachimba, Teya, Sokamzahabia, Teya, Nyela Bisongun Yogupsubu, Teya Nyela Ngunza, Nti, Northern region, Ghana most beautiful. Ka Tubuarni Itapsom, Kama Impuntam Tabrosong the Sham, Kati Zang, Kati Tujuna Haltepa Shamwama. Teya is my younger sister. And growing up, I noticed the passion and seriousness she attached to everything she does. Teya is very systematic. Teya is someone who naturally will not put the cart before the horse. Teya is somebody who is humble. Teya is respectful. Teya is somebody who is loved by her peers. Teya has a passion to stop Kayayu in this country, which is one of the development challenges that we have. Teya is someone who can bring the crown to Northern Ghana. Not only Northern Ghana, she is somebody, when she brings this crown, it will also contribute in helping her achieve her passion, which in the long run will contribute to ending Kayayu in this country. So I entreat everyone to support her cause by voting Teya to become the next Ghana most beautiful. Thank you.
And that was a message from Taya's brother. Are you ready for me now? Okay, so I'm going to start from the top. Your question reads: some women groups have argued that jailing of rapists has not been a strong enough punitive measure in stopping others from committing this particular crime. They have therefore argued that rape perpetrators should have more stringent punishments, such as castration. Taya, do you agree with this position or not? Give reasons for your answer.
Right. Thank you so much, Cookie, for the question. Thank you so much, honorable judges, and thank you all for coming all out in your numbers to support us. We are really grateful. You see, Cookie, if you actually asked me this question some time ago, I would be like, oh yes, of course, rapists should be castrated, why not? But you see, that would have been me thinking with my emotions and with no iota of humanity at all. Thank you. You see, Cookie, whenever rape is mentioned, a lot of us think about men. What about the rapists who have no penises? Do you all know that some women also rape men and even molest boys? Should they also be castrated? You see, castrating rapists is just barbaric. It's inhumane and it's against the human rights of these people. So yes, it is painful. Yes, it is a lifelong trauma, but castration is too much. We only castrate animals. One thing that you should also know is that if this castration goes on, it is going to encourage these rapists to kill their victims because they wouldn't want them reported. And so I think that instead of castration, these rapists should be intensified when it comes to their punishment. According to our Criminal Act 97, it says that when persons are found guilty of this crime, they should be sentenced to not less than 5 and not more than 25 years in prison. You see, if the pain can last a lifetime, the punishment should be able to last a lifetime. Why don't we jail them take them live in prison with hard labor and make them pay huge fines? And this, I'm sure, will serve as a deterrent. And when this happens, government should make sure that these people work on state farms, which will go a long way to increase the agricultural productivity and support the Ministry of Tourism, grow what you eat and eat what you grow. It also goes a long way to support the Sustainable Development Goal 2, which says zero hunger. And so my take on this, castration is too much. Let's not forget that we are human beings and only animals are castrated. Thank you.
And that was Taya from the Northern region. Her take on the punishments for rapists. Well, Anita,
yes,
the last lady is
definitely
ready
means
for
Honam
this
has
round.
number 4. Before we ask Honam her question, she has a message from her family.
Oyo number Cecilia Kluche Sajo enyenye honam no. Madak pada mau abale ko jago me plimi GMB go biblia. Yemi fado ga bosiama madak pereta.
Honam's performance in this competition has been like a mountain and a valley, as she has already stated. So I'm urging everybody to support her with their votes and prayers so that she'll be able to bring the crown back to the voter region.
Honama enya make a mau vovolama, enya make a bobo nya lama, abunama. Taga posiama mala kukudamna amung to makata, kakabli kata, ba wada kona honam, ba fiakukua.
Akova
vota akpanami.
And I believe this will help her carry on her project, which is providing healthcare for those in deprived communities. Kindly vote for Honam with the short code *713*13# or download the TV3 reality app to vote for her. Thank you very much. Akpanami.
Honam, this is your question. And it says, social media has both positive and negative impact on the nation and the people. In the view of some, the negative aspect of the medium outweigh the positives, and therefore social media should be regulated by the state. Is this a position you would associate with or not, and why?
Thank you so much for the question, Anita. Social media, yes, this question is something I will associate with, that the state should control or manage social media. Why? Because I believe that worldwide, we have over 3 billion people using social media, which each and every one of us here are a part of. Social media truly has come with its advantages, some of which has impact in our education, in our health, and also in our businesses. When it comes to the cons, it is disheartening when you realize certain effects that social media has on the lives of people. Do you even know that depression rate in teens are high with the use of social media? Research has it that about 13 to 66% of teenagers have depression related to social media. Myself, I have been on social media platforms where sometimes when I'm scrolling through what I'm researching on or what I want to watch, a sudden explicit content pops up. And I become surprised. Sometimes I wonder, what about the young children using social media as well? What happens to their mental health when they see women with an exaggerated ass, excuse me to say, and breast? This brings about low self-esteem, and they also crave to have such perfect bodies, which is why there is depression rate amongst teens. Myself, I've gotten to a point in time in my life where someone posted something about me. The person said, I have kidney failure. and that people should contribute money to support me. I was surprised because I never expected it. And I know lots of you all have also been in this kind of situation. Must this continue? I ask. When it comes to the state managing social media, I believe it is something that we all should consider, because I will consider this as using your phone and having a screen protector. Whereas the phone itself will represent you using social media, the protector will serve as the state, which will protect or regulate how you use your phone, so that even when someone sees something evil against you on social media, such content can be deleted and also actions can be taken. So I believe that it is paramount that the state consider this in controlling our social media platforms, because culturally sometimes I wonder, where are we going? People no longer respect others on social media. Someone can just type any rude word to people on social media, and that hurts so much. For the sake of mental health awareness, I believe and stand firm by the notion that social media should be regulated by the state. Akbenami, thank you.
Thank you so much, Honam. Well done, ladies. We'll move to our judges, and all of them will comment on the submissions from our ladies. And don't forget, these are the opinions and thoughts of our ladies on these issues. Judges, I'll start with you. Sweet Janet, take it away.
Okay, thank you, ladies, so much. Like I always say, I'm super, super proud of all of you because you spoke so eloquently, and you seem to have researched your subjects in details. Okay, let me start with Honam. Honam, you sounded a bit jittery. I don't know if you were not convinced about what you were saying, but I do not, and we can have a debate. I do not subscribe that the government should control social media. I do not at all, because then you take away the creativity, the freedom of speech. Yes, there are ways that can be regulated, but I don't. To Taya, thank you very much. I do believe that castration is not the solution. However, I think you omitted something very critical, and that is psychoanalysis. There is definitely a root cause behind these rapes, be it from the male or from the female gender. And I think you didn't go into that. Once we don't understand the root causes, we cannot come up with the right solutions. To Esiedua, thank you. I don't believe that Chief Sansi should be abolished. However, I think they should be contemporized so that they remain relevant to current times. Otherwise, they risk being obsolete. And I think that you did not go further there. To Esiedua, my dear, thank you very much. I would like to say, Esiedua, for the first time ever, I think your answer was a bit pedestrian. And for you who is a strong advocate for STEM, I missed the technological
I think you want to talk
part
about
of it.
Amweni
I'm talking about, sorry. So what I'm saying is, Amweni, you are an advocate for STEM. You know the impact of technology on sexual education. And you mentioned nothing about technology nor the social media and how we can use it. Aiko, well done. I don't have a comment. I think you did very well.
Auntie Linda. Okay. Auntie Linda, can we have your comments as well?
Please settle down so we can hear Auntie Linda. Please, thank you.
I think I'll begin with you. Your submission on affirmative action, you had a lot of information, but people's attention span is pretty short, especially these days. So when you're making a presentation, as much as possible, get all the important points within the first 2 to 3 minutes. Because beyond that, you will lose us, and that's what happened. But otherwise, you put up a good argument. Asiedua, your chieftaincy debates, I thought you could have done a little more by convincing us. I agree with your point, I agree with your position, but I think that we needed a little more to be able to win those on the other side over. But I think you did well, you tried. Amweni, comprehensive sexuality education, I was with you until you got to the point, I think you said age 8, 9, you tell the child, daddy's pee-pee goes into mommy's, hey! I believe in comprehensive sexuality education, but age-appropriate information is crucial because otherwise it defeats the whole purpose. However, you believed in what you were saying, so well done there. Taya, yours was straight to the point, which was good. I think that castration is the way to go. However, I think you made your point, you gave good reasons, and therefore you are almost winning me over. But very good presentation. Honam, yours was also a little bit more than I expected. However, I agree with your point. I think it should be regulated, honestly, because, in fact, some of the things out there, it's worrying, especially with young people now online at very tender ages. Well done, ladies. Well done.
Jigbodi, we'll come to you.
Okay. First of all, I want all you ladies to know something. For coming this far, the only way is now to the top, all of you. So you need to be very excited about where you're going from here. So congratulations to all of you. Now, Honam, I'll start with you. One of the things I was really looking to hear when it comes to social media was the impact. I wanted you to elaborate. You just focused on one segment, which is depression, mental health, which is the topic now, which is fine. But spreading it out and not focusing just on regulation, but giving the different options is what I would have expected from you. And your articulation, yes, you were a little shaky. I would like to see more work on that, and you will do great. I've always said that to you. Taya, what I loved is the whole aspect of a debate. You see, the whole idea of topical conversations is around bringing unconventional arguments and creating a debate. So whether it's one side or the other side, you succeeded in creating a debate and you made a point. So that's well done for that. Asiedua, one of the things I keep saying about you is that maybe you are just a late bloomer, but remember that you are very articulate and keep that up in whatever you do. I loved your argument as well. One of the things, though, I would have liked to see is how, and I think Janet picked it up a little bit, is how to bring the level of chieftaincy into a contemporary environment. I don't know what's happening to me tonight, but bring technology, bring the realities, bring them. But your argument, your strength, even adding the research was very good. So keep that up. Amweni, I also liked the education, sex education. I am still going to research around the age part. I haven't heard. I liked your concept, what you brought out. I would have liked a little bit more research. That is what I missed. I think when Janet was talking about this, she also alluded to it. I would have liked a little more research. But you made the point, and you sent a message to parents. Maybe one of the things you need to look at in the future is how to add research, more research to it. Aiko, I've always said it, you also did well tonight. You went a bit long, but you gave us a lot of information that made a lot, that gave us a lot of points to think about. I was very moved about what was happening and how far back other African countries were. I like the fact that you took it to 2 decisions that were made, and I've educated myself on it in Rwanda about it. So well done.
All right, all the judges have given their comments.